time to buckle up for a new episode of Raise Nation, the one and only podcast made to inspire fundraisers like you to continue making impact in our communities, building better tomorrows, and exchanging ideas. So whether you're a trailblazer or a seasoned pro, you'll pick up the trends that transform your fundraising. And together, we'll dive into lively conversations and chat with industry-leading fundraisers and thought leaders to explore hot-button issues and innovative ideas. So stay with us for the next 30 minutes while we inspire you to embrace the future of fundraising. All right, so let's get going. I am driving solo today. I am missing terribly my co-host, Mr. Benjamin Farrell, but we are at the Raise Conference. And Mr. Farrell is actually speaking right now at one of our sessions. So hopefully you've tuned into that or you've accessed Ben's session on demand. So we are going to jump right in with a really special interview with our Fundraisers of the Year. So let me explain. Every year at Raise, we have an award ceremony. We honor the best and the brightest in the nonprofit space. And this year, we've recognized three fundraisers, three nonprofits that have risen to the top as Fundraisers of the Year. Now, this is really, really special because we've all been through 19 months of, I don't know what to call it anymore. And I don't know, maybe it's even 20 months, but it has been a very challenging, difficult time. And fundraising has not been easy. It's never easy. The work that you all do, fearless fundraisers every day, all day, is super difficult. But it's even all the more difficult in a global health crisis. So to rise to the top as Fundraiser of the Year, I just feel that this year's award is just that much more special. So I'd love to introduce all of my guests. They are the Fundraisers of the Year for this year's Raise Conference. And we're going to ask them all to just introduce themselves. And we're going to go around the room and or around the Zoom, we should say. And let's start with you, Katie. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
My name is Katie Koglman, and I'm the CEO of United Way of Wayne & Homes in beautiful Worcester, Ohio.
Worcester, that's right. We were all talking about that last night, and we're very proud of ourselves that we said it the right way. So Worcester, got it. How about you, Will?
Thanks, Dawn. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bill Miller. I am the CEO of the Kane University Foundation, located in Union, New Jersey. Although we do have numerous campuses across New Jersey, we also, interestingly, have a campus in China. So they keep us busy over there. It's a busy time, but very happy to be here today.
So what exit on the Parkway?
Yeah, it's exit 140, if you're familiar with the tri-state area.
Okay, so I'm exit 82. I'm a Jersey girl through and through.
Okay. So you're down by the ocean. That's the place.
I am. That's right. Well, good to have a fellow New Jerseyan here on the panel. Okay, Nathan, how about you?
My name is Nathan Smith. I am the Vice President of Philanthropy at RAIN. We're an HIV nonprofit where we serve individuals living with HIV and those at risk. So we serve people that are HIV positive and HIV negative.
Wow. Well, it's so nice to meet you. Well, I want to start off with a big, huge congratulations as Fundraisers of the Year. It's just, as I mentioned, I think it's a little bit extra special this year, given, what we've all been through. But so tell me, how did you feel about that honor? Somebody either nominated you or you submitted the application yourself. And we had it was not easy. We get a lot of applications here, through the Raise Conference, and it's a process to go through them all and, to declare our winners. And out of the entire country, it's you three. So what did that mean to you?
I was absolutely amazed and honored that just a small town girl in a small town would have won that award. And actually, when Steve called to let us know, we thought it was a sales call. We're like, oh man. And then he's like, no, wait, I need to know. And so he spoke with Carolyn, my colleague, and we were literally dancing in the office, hooping and hollering. So it's quite an honor. And to, win it with Bill and Nathan, which I can't even imagine how much money they raise. It's just a great honor to me.
How about you, Bill?
Yeah, I would echo what Katie said. It's a tremendous honor. And recognized with this award. And I know how many good people there are out there in this space. And as our listeners probably know, it's not a 9-to-5 gig. People are very committed, very dedicated. And right now, with nonprofits struggling due to what's going on in the world and with our resources, we're working even harder than we ever have. So the fact that the panel thought of me, words can't express my appreciation. And I'm really honored to be up here with Nathan and Katie today.
Nathan?
I think, again, repeating everyone else, like just honored, like it was a total shock. And I know for me, like my development manager was the one that nominated me. And of course, the first thing out of my mouth, because that's who I am, is I was like, so you're doing this because you want job security, right? That's why you did it. No, but in all honesty, it was just an honor. And it's nice to be acknowledged. But then, also on the flip side, it's really nice to be able to give RAIN another platform, another avenue to share our mission and our vision and be able to kind of share what we do to a larger audience. So it was similar to everyone. It was just an honor to be nominated and to be accepted and also to be with everyone else. So, yeah.
Well, tell us about RAIN. Why don't we talk about the missions, because that's what this is all about, celebrating you, celebrating the missions. So I'd love to hear from each of you. Nathan, you can kick off. What do you guys do, and how do you impact the community and build better tomorrows?
So RAIN is like I mentioned earlier, is an HIV nonprofit. We've been around for almost 30 years. It'll be 30 years in 2022. It started literally in a church pew. One Sunday morning, our founder, who is an ordained Baptist minister, I joke that I don't hold that against her. My dad's an Episcopal priest, so it's I feel like I'm allowed to say that. But she was sitting in church one day and realized that people were dying of AIDS, and they were being kicked out of their homes and kicked out of their churches, and were alone. And so she decided to create a group of getting different churches together to offer care and support so they can die with dignity and not die alone. And as HIV has changed, we have changed. And so we've gone from taking care of those dying to now taking care of those living. And we've gone from kind of a faith-based kind of component to really more of a medical model. So we have 11 different core services. We have case management, which is connecting individuals to services and housing. We have 3 part-time therapists that offer free mental health counseling. We help connect people to health insurance and actually help pay their premiums. We have a youth program that serves individuals as young as 13 all the way up to 24. We have early intervention services, which is basically people that have fallen out of care or have newly diagnosed and don't know how to access the kind of the services. We get them connected. We do testing. We do research studies. Like I said, we do a lot of stuff. But we also do PrEP, which is a medication that can actually prevent HIV. So the best way to describe it is it's basically birth control for HIV. It's a 1 pill a day that people can take so that they can, so they do come in contact. They can actually help prevent them from getting infected. But we also are just sharing the knowledge and helping kind of break down the stigma around HIV. It's a manageable disease. It's not a scary disease. It looks, it could happen to anyone. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. It's really cool to see our staff. Most of our staff are young, which is cool, which is great. We have a lot of staff that are also HIV positive because we really believe in peer-to-peer and connecting those individuals and stuff like that. So
beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I mean, this platform will help us get to know each of you a little bit better. And there might be people out there that are aligned. So that's always a good thing. But Bill, how about you? What are we doing in Union over there to, make great communities and see the future of what's going on in the world? So tell us how you're doing that.
Yeah. Thanks, Dawn. We're actually doing a lot of really cool stuff. Kane University is really an institution on the move. And we were founded in 1855 as kind of a teacher's college. We were a commuter-driven school. And over the last 20 years or so, there's been a number of enhancements really across almost every academic sector. And now we're one of the institutions really on the rise, not just in the tri-state area, but I would argue across the country. We just received word yesterday, actually, that U.S. News and World Report recognized us as one of the best institutions of higher education for upward mobility, for social mobility. So one of the cool things about Kean University is that we're one of the most diverse schools in the nation. And you have a lot of our students who are the first in their families to go to pursue a degree in higher education. And as you can imagine, our commencements really kind of tug on the heartstrings because of that. But it's a parallel to the great work that's being done at the university, and there's so much I could talk about. Just to give everybody a sense, our 4-year graduation rate at our STEM college is second only to Princeton University, which is pretty good company to be in. Our speech pathology program is recognized as one of the best across the country. So there's all sorts of examples that I could go through if we had more time to talk about the great stuff that's happening here. We also have a new president who has really hit the ground running. He's entering year 2 right now, and his leadership is very exciting, inspiring, and I think is going to serve the community well as we move forward. So we're on board. But the foundation is kind of my realm, my world at the university. So we exist, as you might imagine, to support 4 primary functions, right? We exist to support students. We exist to support faculty. We exist to support research initiatives or facility upgrades. And what's interesting, particular foundation, we were founded in 1984, but in 2018, we kind of restructured. And now I'm employed by the foundation. Obviously, we exist to support Kean University, but I work for the foundation. The folks on my team work for the foundation, and we cover the costs of health benefits, information technology, IT, HR. That's all stuff that normally you wouldn't see a foundation in the higher ed world being responsible for. So we're doing something that I'd like to say is a little bit cutting edge and a little bit different, given our asset base. We have just under $100 million in assets under management. But if you take a look at that cohort, I should say, I can't really find many other institutions that are structured in this way. And we're seeing success, right? So in 3 years ago, we had our best year since 2010. A couple of years ago, thanks to the good work of our small but mighty team, as I like to say, we received the largest gift in the institution's history. And we just closed the books on our fiscal year a couple of months ago for the last year, and our donor count was actually up. And, given the fact that we were in a pandemic, we couldn't conduct certain events or conduct business the way we normally would. The fact that our donor count has increased is a really good sign. So that's just a real kind of quick and dirty glimpse into some of the good stuff that's happening at Kean and Kean University.
Well, I can endorse that for sure. I know that Kean University is also one of the leaders in educating our future educators. And I live minutes away from Ocean County College, which has a reciprocal program, that feeds into Kean. And I know that it's really producing the finest educators in our country. So I applaud the work that you're doing. And thank you, for that journey. So now I want to turn it over, to you, Katie, if that's okay. But before I do, I heard that you escaped your office and maybe your home office and your virtual office, and that you took a little bit of a getaway to perhaps a different type of property. Are you actually watching Raise from a hotel room so that you can focus and concentrate on all the great content? Did I hear that right?
Yes, we are. Last year we did Raise virtually at the office, and it was constant interruptions, phone calls, people stopping in. Hey, Katie, we need you for this. And so we really didn't get everything out of it that we would have liked to. We were planning on going to Washington, D.C. So I said, you know what? We're going to go to a hotel right here in Worcester and act as though we're at the conference. So we were even dressed up,
I see a ring light back there. Do you have a ring light?
Yes. I mean, we're going
all out.
That's right.
I think we need to move Ray's headquarters over to your hotel room in Worcester. There we go. So funny. All right. On a serious note, let's hear a little bit more about the mission, what you do, and how you're furthering.
At United Way of Wayne and Homes, for many people, they don't realize that United Ways are all separate. We're not charter organizations. We are our own 501c3 right here in rural Ohio. So our goal and our mission is to actually raise money to help all of the other nonprofits in our area. We run 2 of our own programs. One is Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which many people know and love.
I
that
have a little
program.
bit of an internet connectivity.
Oh,
We
can
got
you hear
you.
me? We got you? Okay.
You're back.
So we do the Dolly Parton Imagination Library to make sure kids have free books, and we do a local resource hotline. And that came in very handy during the pandemic because we ended up being the county COVID-19 hotline and the vaccine hotline. But ultimately, our main goal is to raise money so that our corporate partners get asked one time. They're not getting asked by several different organizations. That's the role that our community has always wanted United Way to play here. We don't do programs. We literally raise money. That's all we do.
And that couldn't have been easy in the past. How many months are we now? 19, 20 months?
Well, we hit it head on. And I said from the beginning, we're not going to back down to this virus. When a lot of other people were complaining and canceling, I said, we're going to conquer and claim victory. We're going to hit it. We have a unique community too. We have about 60% of our population is Amish. So it was very unique because for a lot of rural communities, COVID didn't impact like it did in big cities. Most of our industry is manufacturing. So they never stopped working. Our tourism was hit. Some of our other industries were hit, but our manufacturing, actually, most of them had better years than they had ever had. So we were able to leverage that and actually get bigger donations because they were making more money.
So let's open that up a little bit more to the 3 of you, whoever wants to jump in. It's been a tough time, right? And the 3 of you have risen to Fundraiser of the Year. Hopefully that means you've had, growth either in your donor database or in your fundraising, or maybe both. What did you do? How did you take it? When we heard from Katie, I'm taking this head on and I'm going to claim victory. What were some of the things that you did that, we know that you're Fundraiser of the Year, so you had to overcome and achieve success. What were some of the things that you did? Whoever wants to take that.
I can go. I think similar to Katie, I was like, there was no backing down. There was no canceling. And I hate to use this word, but you pivot. That's what you had to do.
The P word. Oh no, the P word.
But you had, you had no choice but to we didn't have the luxury of saying, okay, you know what, we'll just stop for a year and not do events or things like that. It was more like, okay, we still have to do it. So now how do we, change or whatever, our walk, we did, I was lucky enough that we were able to, I didn't actually host a walk. I just said, okay, we're extending the fundraising for a month. And if you want to walk, have fun. In the middle of the pandemic, I wasn't worried about, putting together an event. So obviously that saved us money, but then we actually wound up raising more money last year. And then our bingo event that we do in the fall, we went completely virtual and filmed it. And I felt like I produced a TV show. I never want to do it again. But I learned I can produce a TV show if I want to. But I think that was the thing, is like there was no, we're going to, just not do it. Like it was, okay, we're still going to do this, but how do we do it differently? And it was just, I joked about it, but it was the wild, wild west. Like, there was, especially last year, there was nothing off the table. You could do kind of anything you wanted because no one had done it before. So no one could judge you if you did it wrong. So that was kind of my 2 cents on everything.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would echo what Nathan and Katie have already articulated. But what we did at Kean University and the Kean University Foundation is obviously we took a step back, took a breath, and we said, all right, let's focus on kind of the 4 main pillars that have provided us with success in the past. So what were they? One would be our case for support. How are we telling our story? How are we communicating with donors and prospective donors? And as terrible as the last 20 months have been, it did provide us with an opportunity to call our friends and just check in and not necessarily always ask for money. But I think that resonated well with some of our constituents and key stakeholders. Parallel to that, we we took out our leadership component, right? So we have a terrific board at the Kean University Foundation. We have a terrific president who's very dynamic. And although we couldn't get them in front of donors face to face, we were able to take advantage of the digital vehicles that are out there that I'm sure Katie and Nathan have been able to utilize as well. So really a lot of focus on communication over the last 20 months or so. And then also kind of on the back end, when folks ask me, how did you weather the storm or the past 20 months? I have to give a shout out. I said my small but mighty team earlier. I have to give a shout out to them, right? Because believe it or not, we're just a team of 7, and we probably need another 10 people or so. But they really rallied and came together. And from a managerial perspective, I'm sure Nathan and Katie can speak to this as well, but it wasn't easy, right? Because any boundaries that may have existed kind of were broken down, right? And now it was obviously you've got to be productive, you've got to get the work done, but you've also got to respect your team and make sure that from just a mental health perspective, they're doing okay. So we really focused on the team and making sure that everybody was okay. And now that I look back on it, I'm really glad that I did that because obviously we couldn't do any of the work without the people that we have. They're our most important asset, right? So
Had a good, healthy team.
Right. Those were kind of the areas that we focused on at Kean
Foundation. Great. Good to hear. And Katie, I know that some things that you focused on were your social media campaigns. So why don't you tell us about that and, what else you did to explore digital communications and embrace that, because that's what we had left to work with, and how you leverage email. So if you can comment on that, that'd be great.
We used every social media platform that we had, and we had hopped on the TikTok train a little bit before the pandemic anyway. We didn't really know how to use it, but we learned, and we asked for money on every single platform. Every Friday we go live, and that towards the end of the year, we do $5 Friday. We, get all goofy and crazy, and we ask people just to give $5 on Friday. And then we're going to enter you into a raffle, and you're going to win something cool if we pull your name. TikTok, we ran the same sort of ads. We did a rubber duck race because we normally have a 5K, 10K half, and the permits were pulled. So we said, hey, we're going to race these rubber ducks instead of people. And it actually was so much easier, and the return on investment was huge. So we're going to probably do that for a couple of years because people really loved it. But we believe that duck race will probably die eventually. I can't imagine every year people wanting to adopt these rubber ducks. But, we would get donations from all over the country because of these social media platforms. And we are a local, every dollar stays right here in our small community. And we're getting donations from Arizona and people who are into cosplay. And I didn't even know what cosplay was, but we dressed up in costume on TikTok, and all of a sudden we created some fans.
Cool.
So whatever it took.
TikTok famous.
Not
always have to reinvent yourself, right? So the pandemic, required you to think out of the box and have rubber duck races. But just like anything else, that you can't keep doing everything the same way because you're only going to get those results, right? You have to constantly rebrand yourself. So I love to hear that. You guys sound like a great, fun team over there. So Fun Friday. Let's all jump in. We're almost coming to the end of our celebration of the three of you as fundraisers of the years, but I'd like to go around again. We'll go in that same order, starting with Katie. What's one tip, either lesson that you've learned that you're going to bring forward post-pandemic and maybe even into the future? Or what's that one golden nugget as fundraiser of the year you want to share with the fundraising community about what they need to embrace every day, all day? Because there certainly was a lot of lessons learned, but I think there are a lot of good lessons learned for the future that we really could, take on for years. So expert advice from our expert fundraisers of the year. What would that one piece of advice be?
So my one piece would be step up. Fundraising is not for the faint of heart, but people need to know you. You need to be present. Step up. So when they call you and they're like, hey, can you do this? Even if it seems out of your realm and it's weird, yes, We'll do it. We'll figure it out. And that just builds your relevance in the community, but also your presence. And we know that people give to people.
Of course. That's great. Go ahead. How about you, Bill?
Yeah, thanks, Dawn. I would argue that there's no better time to be in the nonprofit space, right? We exist for these times, for moments of crisis, to help people. And as Katie said, people give to people. People are generous. Americans, I think, gave $470 billion across the country last year, according to Giving USA. So they will respond, and enthusiasm is contagious. And as I kind of look at kind of where I've gone in my career, and as I try to help others who are earlier on in their careers, I say I look for four kind of key ingredients, right? I look for folks that are relationship driven. I also look for folks that communicate well, whether that's writing, public speaking. I look for folks that are data driven because there are numbers involved, as everybody knows. But at the end of the day, you can throw all that stuff out. And the most important ingredient is passion, right? Believe in what you're doing. And I think that is similar to what Katie was saying, in that, every day bring 110%, because your donors, your friends, your partners, they will sense that and they will help you. So if you're passionate about your work and you're passionate about the nonprofit space, everything else is going to fall into place.
I love that. And I agree. I think this is this is going to come out as the best time for fundraisers, not the worst. I mean, it was scary. We had to do the P word, but good time to be fundraisers. How about you, Nathan?
Be flexible. I think, flexible with people's schedules, sometimes not being able to meet 9 to 5. Sometimes you have to meet early. I'm not a morning person, but I will do it if I have to. I try to avoid it. To after hours, be flexible when it comes to something being thrown at you in events, knowing that it's not going to, be the exact way you planned it. And I think also be flexible with yourself. So making sure that you're giving yourself time to reflect, to think about the weeks ahead, but also time to recharge. I think Bill mentioned earlier, like, it is not a 9 to 5 job. It is not 9 to 5. It is not Monday through Friday. It is sometimes 10 o'clock at night, a phone call or a text message, but also making sure that you are flexible and you're giving yourself that time back to be able to recharge. So that means if you get to sleep in a little and come in to work late that morning, that's for me, but it's being flexible and being flexible with your staff.
Great advice. Well, that's all we have time for today. I wanted to thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a very inspirational episode of Raise Nation Radio. Just hearing about how you overcome and your positive attitude and your perseverance, especially in uncertain times. So really, congratulations again. We're honored to know you, and we're honored to be able to just celebrate you for just, a short time and send you that beautiful plaque. I don't know if you've received them yet. I saw them here on display. I think that was for production purposes, but I know that they're going out and they really are special and beautiful. So display it proudly and, just celebrate the moment, celebrate you and your missions. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So Fearless Fundraisers, that's about all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's Raise Nation episode of celebrating the fundraisers of the year, and also enjoyed your daily dose of fundraising inspiration. I'd like to thank our sponsor, One Cause, for making this episode possible. One Cause is driving the future of fundraising with easy-to-use software solutions to help nonprofits connect with donors. Be sure to check them out at onecause.com. So on behalf of the fundraisers of the year and myself, a big shout out and thanks to everyone involved. We appreciate our fundraisers of the year sharing their expert advice and their authenticity. We please connect with them. You can find them all on the Raise Conference app. And of course, I'm sure on LinkedIn and on their various websites. Follow their journey because it's truly something special. So until next time, I'm Dawn Lego, and this is Raise Nation Radio. Stay fearless out there. One Cause is the proud sponsor of Raise Nation Radio and your daily dose of fundraising inspiration. One Cause is driving the future of fundraising with easy-to-use software solutions that help nonprofits connect with donors. Day in and day out, One Cause puts your cause at the center of everything they do. Let One Cause power your fundraising.